Hello everyone, this is Defense Politics Asia, and this is the Frontline Changes report for the past 24 hours. So actually this is for the past 2 days. I haven't changed the title. Give me a second. A second. So take exactly a second. I never lied to you, which is why you watched the DPA. So anyway, well, you're gonna I just wasted 5 seconds talking about me not wasting 1 second, not wasting more than 1 second. So anyway, we're gonna start off with the frontline changes report over in the Kursk front or the Kursk front. Kursk front. At the Kursk front, over at Kruglenkoe, we have multiple geolocations signaling the Russians breaking through of the Ukrainian lines at this area. Three different geolocations marking Russian forces making huge advances in the Kruglenkoe region, and which means that Kruglenkoe is basically under Russian control. With the latest frontline changes heading basically over at Nikolaevka, which definitely means that Kruglenkoe is as good as gone. So Russian forces captured Kruglenkoe, and then they have now breakthrough towards Nikolaevka, which will probably help to relieve if the Russian forces is still over at Malaya Lognia, if this mapping is still actually that kind of accurate. So then yeah, but it definitely changes the entire tactical strategic situation for this sector. I have broke down this entire battlefield. Check out the battlefield analysis on the video before this one, so check it out. And so this is the frontline change in Kruglenkoe. The total distance traveled from the furthest point to the furthest point, the leftest point to the rightest point is around 6.3 kilometers. So that is a pretty big frontline change in this sector. So after this area, there is frontline change over the southern flank as well. The Russian forces have entered. So this is the southern flank, by the way. Sudja is here. So this is the southern flank, and Gruevo, Kurilovka, Pokrovsk, and Russian forces have basically entered into Kurilovka, with Russian forces geolocated basically in the south central part of the settlement. So this is a pretty significant update, which means that they went from previous geolocated positions into the settlement, and yeah. So this is, I did mention in the situation report that this is the first time the Russian forces have crossed the Sel River or the Reka Zdja on the western part or western bank. So significant in that sense. Total distance traveled from the geolocation point to the last front line is around 700 meters. And the next front line change is over in the Dvorichna front. So Dvorichna front is also very significant. The Russian forces basically geolocated inside the south of Dvorichna, confirming that the Russian forces have captured the entire southern part of Dvorichna, which is actually the title stake for the situation report. The entire south of Dvorichna is now taken. Very, very, very significant update. If the Russians capture the entire Dvorichna, it does going to change the entire strategic situation. It's not just tactical, but strategic situation in the sector. So after Dvorichna, the next frontline change is over at Zarovne. So the geolocation shows the Russian forces advancing in the north of Zarovne as they continue the expansion from the previous capture around Kurakhove. So that's what it is. The distance moved is around 1 kilometer. So after the Vyshneve front, we move all the way down south to Terny. Over at Terny, we have come back to the crawl, the Terny crawl. Geolocation of Russian forces signaling a super slight change at Terny. So it's basically, yeah, very slight. You can probably see how slight it is. So that's all from Terny. And then we jump all the way to the Toretsk front. So over in the previous known as New York front, because New York went, New York is here. New York went too quiet, so it's now called the Toretsk front. At the Toretsk front, Russian forces have been geolocated. So I need to zoom out a bit so that it makes a bit more sense. In just basically in the age or just entering Krymske, and this means that the Russian forces have captured the entire central and eastern part of Toretsk. So this is a very, very significant update. This geolocation signaling a capture as well as invalidation. This is the invalidation part, invalidation of Ukrainian claims, and then advance further into uncharted territory where the Russian forces have taken all of this suburb, entering into the to the micro district of Krimske. So after this, after Toretsk, the next frontline change is over the Pokrovsk front. So this is Pokrovsk and the Pokrovsk front. At the Pokrovsk front at Vyshneve, Russian forces basically entered into Vyshneve. So basically they have started the Battle of Vyshneve. So this one of so this basically means that the Russians are now yet another step closer to Pokrovsk. So that's Vyshneve. And the next frontline change, we go all the way to the Battle of Kurakhove. So at Kurakhove, there's a flag raising in the southern district, where on the one of the high-rise building, invalidating some of the Ukrainian claims of presence in the south of Kurakhove. So if I zoom out, this is Kurakhove. Yeah, it's over here. So, and then after Kurakhove, we go to the Constantinople sector, where at Zelenivka, this entire region here is claimed to be under Russian control by the Russian mapping. So that's all, nothing particularly special, and it's not unexpected as well. So this is by the Russian sources. Ukrainian mapping have stopped updating their map since the 21st. I wonder what happened. I wonder if it has something to do with the missile strike as well. I'm not sure. It might be. So I mean, it could be just the weekend. So like I haven't seen them stop for so many days before. Deep State UA, so the Ukrainian source. So Deep State UA has never stopped for so long. So it's a bit surprising to me. So if they no longer, but they still post other stuff. They just didn't do the map. So I mean, so hopefully they are safe. No, my well wishes go to them. But the map is not updated. So I wonder though if they are trying to hide certain information, or they are legitimately to them there's no change. So who knows? So anyway, good luck to them. Because I think a few days ago there's a missile strike on the SBU building, and if they are working there, then they're gone. So or at least the mappers or the people who are dealing with the mapping is gone. So if they work there, so that is one of the concern. I mean, this is real stuff. There's a real war. People die. Although I still live pretty well. So yeah, but this is why DPA do DPA's work. That's why I'm committed to this Defense Politics Asia project, because I want to make sure that people be more aware about information warfare, about propaganda, about politics, geopolitics particularly, so that don't just because you feel like you're right, and then you send your country to war and you die, or a lot of people die. So after Zelenivka, we go to Kamyanske. So this is one of the latest geolocation at Zaporizhia front. This is interesting because the Ukrainian forces is the one capturing ground, going across to the southern half of Kamyanske, capturing some grounds in the south of Kamyanske. So despite the previous reports is that the fighting was Russian attack, but somehow the fighting end up is the Ukrainians actually gaining ground. So anyway, that's the capture by the Ukrainians. I turned off this area thing because I always forget about it, like this area thing. So the Ukrainian total capture for the Kamyanske is 0.77 square kilometers. The biggest advance by the Russians is over at Constantinople front, which is the Zelenivka. This salient. The capture is the biggest, but this is like just a arbitrary capture. It's a claim, but definitely the Ukrainians can't be there, so it's a capture. But in terms of battle capture, the biggest is then the Kursk front. At the Kursk front, advance over at Kruglenkoe is significant. This is a massive advance, which is leading to 5.85 square kilometers captured. So let's do some calculation to see what is the total captured by the Russian forces. So the total Russian capture, let's count 5.85 plus 0.79 plus 1.79 plus 0.16 plus 0.94 plus 0.77 plus 0.0 43 plus 7. So it's 17.12. So the total area captured by the Russian forces is 17.12 square kilometers. So that's it. So anyway, thank you for watching. Press the like button, subscribe. Yeah, and of course, as I mentioned earlier, where's my calculator? Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, check out the battlefield analysis and the stat rep. Yeah, see you guys in the next update.